We are live. Hello, my friends. All right, I think I'm where I want to be on all of the screens. If we don't already know each other, my name is Dr. Jody Dinnerman. I'm the founder and creator of All Things Staffless Practice. I'm an expert mistake maker and solution creator. I've written the books, I run the school, I offer the coaching, and now we even have a software solution for you. So today, what we're going to talk about is how do I continue to grow my practice without having a team? And or if I have a team, how do I ensure that everybody is in their lane of genius? How do I make sure that if I have Debbie who sits at my front desk, who has a master's in, I don't know, psychology, that I'm not having her filing for me, not the best use of her time, not her lane of genius. So we also talk a lot in the staffless practice world about the A-frame. It's the A-frame system of staffless practice. I have to look at it. We have attracting the right practice members, the people who we really want to serve. We have acquiring their yes, and that's what we're going to talk about today. Acquiring their yes, bringing them into the beehive and then showing them how wonderful it is, right? That's acquiring the yes. And then we have aligning them. Aligning is this part of the A, aligning them to a new way of thinking about health and wellness so that they get to stay, pay, and refer for years to come, as my friend Russ Rosen says. And then finally, adaptation and integration, like sit back and breathe. So I want to talk about acquiring the yes. And I want to talk about acquiring the yes without having somebody doing this work for us. So the general rule of thumb is that we're either leaning on a person or a system when it comes to either nurturing our community members or nurturing our practice members or reaching out to practice members who have left the practice. It's a matter of either a person or a system. And what I see happen all too often is people will it's so interesting to watch what people come up with, because practitioners are so creative, they're so brilliant, but they put the square peg into the round hole when certainly the square peg is looking for a square hole, right? And they're like, but isn't it square and isn't it round? And they don't match up. So often we try to put a person where a system really should be. And so often we try to put a system where a person should be. They get confused, they get scrambled, square peg, round hole. So when I talk about acquiring a yes, that means I have Sally. Let's do some Sally gossip, shall we? I have Sally who's interested and intrigued by what she's heard about Dr. Jody doing over there on Lee Street in Clinton. She might have joined my Facebook group. She probably checked out my website. She's like circling the hive, right? She's interested. She's intrigued. I can either take a person and implement an action for that person to get Sally to say yes to my offer of coming in, or I can lean on a system. I lean on systems as much as possible because I've made the choice to not have staff at my office. If you are so privileged to have a team, then if we can just take a minute and take a breath, and before we hire another person or throw a person on that, take it, that's your responsibility, run with it, figure it out. Give them another checklist that isn't relevant, right? What if we can create a system that saves all of that from chaos? And the system for acquiring the practice member before they come into the hive is different than the system that acquires their yes once they get there, right? And the cool thing is that in the wellness world, there are coaches who are experts on every stage of this. There are coaches who are experts on getting lead generation to work really well for your practice. Facebook ads, Google ads, things like that. Marketing, paid ads, organic reach, all of these things. And then there are coaches whose expertise is getting the yes once the practice member has come in for the initial consultation. That would be like my buddy Russ Rosen, who is the king of patient acquisition once they're in your hive. So I want you to think about this through staffless lenses. So one of the things, if you're watching this in our Facebook group, we have a free Facebook group. If you're not watching this in our Facebook group, but in our Facebook group today, I featured a post that gives you my entire reactivation system. Like, here's what I do to reach out to my practice members who have left the office for one reason or another. I don't know if they've moved or fell off the face of the earth or whatever it is. Here's how I stay connected to them, leaning on a system, not leaning on a person, right? And I posted that entire thing for you guys in the Facebook group. So when it comes to growing, that's one way to grow the practice, is to stay connected to people who have left the practice, to continue to nurture them, to have them on a nurturing sequence. Another way to grow the practice without staff is to constantly be nurturing the Sallys who are taking a peek. They're going, peekaboo, I see you, Dr. Jody. I want to learn more. I'm not quite ready, but if you put the right offer in front of me, I'm going to lean in, right? We want to make sure that we are keeping that door swinging open. I just had a consultation with one of my favorite clients. I say that about all my clients. I love all of you guys, but we went there on talking about, if the door is not open for them, we don't know what's waiting on the other side. If we don't ask, the answer is always no, right? Maybe 1 out of 10 times the answer is, yes, I've been looking for a family chiropractor. Do you have a card? Right? But if I don't ask them, who's your family chiropractor? I don't know. The answer is no, because I didn't ask. They might make the assumption that I'm not taking new patients. They might make the assumption that I don't want to mix business with pleasure if I'm at a soccer game with my kid. I don't know what the story is going on with them about why didn't they ask me about my practice. So I'm going to go ahead and take my step and bring it forward and open the door and lead with curiosity, right? And lead with the assumption that everybody has a family chiropractor. Who's your family chiropractor? Oh, you don't have one? Well, now you do. Here are 4 of my cards. And replace chiropractor with PT, OT, ND, herbalist, whatever it is that you do that you help make the world better. Do the thing, ask the question, open the door. Because if we don't open the door, here's the thing, you guys. If we don't open the door, we don't know what's on the other side of it, and we're not going to be doing our part to make the world better with great care. That's what we're doing here. If you're listening to my words, you're either intrigued about how I do that, or you're doing it yourself on your side of the screen. So do it. Ask the questions. We ended this this conversation, this coaching consultation that I had this morning, with me challenging my client with asking the question to 10 people. That's one thing that she's going to do. Note that the 3 things I asked her to do have nothing to do with having staff. Okay. If you have staff, have them do this in a graceful way for you, for your practice. 1, ask the question to 10 people this week. Who's your family chiropractor? Oh, you don't have one? Well, now you do. Ask the question, well, who do you see for physical therapy? Oh, you don't have a physical therapist? Well, now you do. Ask the question, because if you don't ask the question, again, the answer is no. 2, I'm a big fan of these little things. So let's say that you ask the question to Barb, okay, at the soccer game. And Barb says, I don't have a family chiropractor, but I've been thinking of getting one. I've been thinking of checking into it, whatever her story is about it. Please do not leave that conversation with Barb without the next action being planned for. Well, Barb, here is my, Barb, here's my phone. Go ahead and put your phone number in. Do that for me, Barb. And Barb takes her phone and puts her phone number in, and I have a date with myself to text or call Barb the next day. Hey, Barb, it's Dr. J. I met you at the soccer game. Is now a good time to talk? Give me a call. That's it. That's what it takes, right? I personally would put her on what's called a nurturing sequence where I do a voicemail drop and I do a texting and I do the email and I do all of the things over the next few months until she says yes to care. That requires a practice suite. If you need to know, then just reach out to me and I'll show you how all that works. So it's a plan in place with Barb. It's asking the question, opening the door. It's having a plan in place. And it's showing up where Barb is hanging out. This is the last thing I want to talk about when it comes to acquiring your yes without staff. Let's say that Barb is really into Pilates. And let's say that there's a group for the local Pilates studio in your hometown. And if Barb is your perfect practice member, if you don't know who your perfect practice member is, reach out to me. And so you want to join that group. That's like, hi, join the group, right? Join the group for Pilates in your town because Barb is the person who is making up that group. And then it's a matter of contributing to that group in a way that shows them who you are. It doesn't tell them who you are. It's a matter of dropping a post in that group on Monday morning, once a month, saying, I'm so grateful. Let's say you're a registered dietitian who helps moms let go of their weight that they have a story about carrying, right? Let's say that your jam is working with them, with postpartum moms who are carrying around too much of themselves. That's their story. So I would go into that Pilates group saying, I'm so grateful that I get to be a part of the Pilates community in this area. It really helps me contribute in a meaningful way to my goals as somebody who likes to take care of their fitness and who likes to stay in shape. I actually just put together a 5-step process of how I utilize Pilates in my personal life. Who wants access to it? That's it. That's the post you drop it with a selfie picture of how wonderful you are. I'm going to give you another yes, acquire post example. Let's say that you are a PT who specializes in working with seniors who are like borderline pro when it comes to golf. You're a golf PT for seniors. That's your jam. That's what you could write the book about because that's what you do so well. And let's say that there's a local golfing community, a Facebook group in your area, and you are a golfer. That's why you love serving these people. You go into that group on Monday morning and you offer a post with value, and it says, it's a selfie picture of maybe you with your golf cart or whatever golfers take pictures of. And it says something like, I'm so grateful for this community because it allows me to discover new tools to crush my golf game. I just created a 3-step plan to get better with my golf game while I'm taking care of my arthritic knees. Who wants a copy of it? It's so good. And it's a picture of the golfer and the selfie and the caddy or whatever the golfers take picture of. You're offering value to the community. So that's how you acquire the yes. And that's the yes for becoming somebody who's on your schedule for a new practice member visit, right? Whether it's your initial consultation or whatever it is. And then it's a matter of acquiring the yes to care. And there's a whole different breadcrumb trail that we go down with that. I just wanted to put in your brain how you can be a magnet, honey to the bee, bee to the honey, honey to, you know what I'm saying. You can be a magnet for the people who you want to be serving on everywhere they look, on social media, on the soccer field, on Google ads, on Facebook ads, on Instagram, in their inbox, in their text messages, on their phone with a voicemail. These are all the ways that we can connect. You bring them into your world. by nurturing them, nurturing them, nurturing them. And the more automation you can use, the better. This is not a people thing. The people thing is once they come in, somebody to greet them and to say, it's so nice to see you today. How can I make you comfortable? You're so important to us, you know, having that genuine connection. If your practice is really busy and cranking, you may need that. And it certainly is lovely to walk into. So I wanted to drop in and share these pieces with you. We are starting the Set It and Forget It boot camp today for people who have a practice suite. If you already have a practice suite, which is our What is the Practice Suite? All-in-one client communication system that is just as compliant as it is lovely. We can either build it with you, build it for you, or show you how to do it on your own. It's texting, email, phone, fax, social media, you name it, it's all there. And we have coaching programs that kind of swarm around all of that. So if you need something like that, reach out to me or go to gostaffless.com. That's where you can find us. I think that's it, you guys. I'm loving you from here. That's my Monday heart share. I'll see you next Monday. I hope you're going out there and crushing it, and go make the world better with great care. And I love you all.